The NBA world is massive and currently hosts 30 teams and almost 530 players. And to set your name in stone, you'd have to be one pretty extraordinary person. And with the incredible Nets vs Thunder game last Sunday, Patty Mills has shown everyone that he might just be on to really securing his legacy. In today's video, we're going to be recapping Mills' historic performance, LeBron and Isaiah's crazy fight, so stay tuned till the end of the video. First, let's talk about Mills setting a new record. The Brooklyn Nets won 120-96 against the Oklahoma City Thunders in last Sunday night's game, which was certainly one for the books. However, one particular player that had the audience and all of us in awe was none other than the Nets' very own Patty Mills. The 33-year-old NBA star made history as he made a career-best 9 3-pointers, which is the most in franchise history by a Nets player, off the bench. Seems he's showing everyone who the true Aussie GOAT is. The Nets were led to victory with Kevin Durant at the forefront with 33 points and Patty Mills following closely behind with 29. Although Patty wasn't the top scorer of the night, teammate Durant was full of nothing but praise for him. His work ethic is top of the line, so it was a matter of time before he started knocking some of those down, and he got it going. And that's what we need. He said in an interview, Mills gave what is probably considered to be the best performance ever since he left San Antonio and joined the Brooklyn Nets nearly a decade ago. Many fans of the famed Brooklyn Nets were a bit worried without the presence of Kyrie Irving, but it looks like they won't have to anymore with Mills' stellar performance and new track record. And in case you missed it, the shooting guard has championship experience from his Spurs days in 2014 and just recently led his team, the Boomers, to their very first Olympic medal at the Tokyo Summer Olympics. With how astonishing his performance has been, we think that this is only the beginning of the amazing journey Patty will go on. Next, LeBron versus Isaiah, an unexpected bloody brawl. Sunday night's game between the Lakers and Pistons ended on a bloody note with Lakers LeBron James and Pistons Isaiah Stewart at the forefront. Although both players were ejected initially, the altercation later led to James being suspended for 1 game for the first time in his 19-year-long career and Isaiah for 2. So what led to this unexpected brawl? Well, it all began when there were 19 minutes and 18 seconds left during the third quarter of the Lakers versus Pistons game, when both players were jostling for position and LeBron accidentally hit Stewart. LeBron, immediately releasing it as an accident, went up to Stewart to apologize, but, well, we all know what happened next. Right as the Lakers player approached him, Isaiah went full Rambo and was ready to fight. Seemed that LeBron was genuinely trying to apologize, but the moment Stewart realized that he was bleeding, all hell broke loose. Several security guards, aside from the already on-court players, tried to restrain both Isaiah and LeBron, but it seems the former needed some extra restraint because he was just not having it. It seemed for a minute or two that the players and security had Stewart under control as he was getting off court, but everyone was shocked when he turned around and went charging straight for James. Quite unsportsmanlike. Yikes. Several security guards tried to hold him back. Some even fell to the ground. Luckily for LeBron, Stewart was once again restrained and taken off court, but that didn't mean he went out without a fight. In the shocking footage, you can see him clearly overcome with rage as he even pushed a security guard who fell over on his way inside. LeBron was assessed with a flagrant foul too, and 2 technical ones for Stewart. The suspension hit LeBron hard, and why wouldn't it? It was the Stars, who has won 4 NBA titles with 3 different teams he's played with, first in his very first impressive and 19-year-long running career. In a talk with ESPN, he revealed that he was absolutely devastated about his suspension and how it was foul, seeing as it was an accident, but felt the most upset about having to miss out on the game at Madison Square Garden against the New York Knicks. Many friends of LeBron came to his defense and mentioned that his suspension was and that he was a classy guy and definitely not the type to cause fights, while others took Stewart's side, and said that he had every right to be angry and react the way he did. The Lakers and Pistons are scheduled to once again be meeting this Sunday, the 28th of November, when both James and Stewart will be eligible to play, and we for one can't wait to watch the match. Next, Colin Sexton suffers injury. Unfortunately for the Cleveland Cavaliers, beloved player and point guard Colin Sexton is done for this 2021-2022 basketball season. The devastating news comes after it was revealed by his team that the 22-year-old player had sustained an injury to his left knee, a meniscus tear to be specific, at the November 7th match the Cavaliers played against the New York Knicks. This is a pretty hard-hitting blow for the Cavs, seeing as Sexton was their top scorer of the season so far, and averaged 3.3 rebounds, 2.1 assists, and 16 points at the point. The loss will hit the Cavs just as hard it'll be hitting Colin himself, who before his injury was playing on a short-term contract and was supposed to, throughout this season, show other teams and players that he was worth being invested in and looked at. Colin had been drafted by the Cleveland Cavaliers in 2018, but had unfortunately not secured a contract extension. Things are looking a bit cloudy and rough at the moment for Sexton's future, but we wish him a speedy recovery and can't wait to see him dominate the court again. Now, Anthony Davis's sit-out. Davis suffered from a high fever and other flu-like symptoms on Wednesday, which ultimately led him to missing the game against the Indiana Pacers, which the Lakers won at overtime with a final 124-116 score. The fever, which is fortunately not COVID-related, was something that Davis was able to work and play with in their game against the New York Knicks on Tuesday night. But, according to coach Frank Vogel, Davis was extremely sick and bedridden the following day and was unable to play the game. Although he was sick the day of his match against the Knicks, he still managed to score 20 points in a little over half an hour, which is still quite impressive. Lucky for the Lakers, and thanks to LeBron James' season-high 39 points, they were able to survive and manage just fine without Anthony Davis, who, so far, has averaged 10.3 rebounds and an impressive 24.3 points. He's expected to make a return not too long from now and once again hit the court, and we wish him better health moving forward. Next, let's talk about the NBA trade deadline and the latest rumors. It's just a matter of time now that the NBA is back in full swing before trade season truly gets going. Because of the unusual December start to the 2020-2021 campaign, the trade deadline has been pushed out to late March in 2021. The deadline will be pushed out to early February now that the league is back on a regular schedule. Although front offices still have time to assess their teams, trade speculations are expected to become more common next month. On December 15th, a large number of NBA players who signed contracts this summer will be available to be dealt, providing teams significantly greater options in putting together deals. Here's all you need to know about the NBA trade deadline in 2022. The deadline itself is on the 10th of February, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard to be exact. Here's a list of the 4 top probable targets of the NBA trade deadline. Ben Simmons, the Philadelphia 76ers. Since the 76ers were ousted from the NBA playoffs in 2021, he has been at the heart of the trade speculation, and he'll continue to be until Philadelphia pulls the trigger. It's hard to foresee how this tale will conclude because it's taken so many twists and turns. Kyrie Irving, the Brooklyn Nets. According to ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski, the Nets have received inquiries regarding Irving, but have not sought out suitors wanting to get rid of the 7-time All-Star. This issue will be worth keeping an eye on as the deadline approaches, especially if Irving remains ineligible to play. Buddy Hield and Marvin Bagley, III, Sacramento Kings. Hield was close to being dealt to the Lakers, but the Lakers finally elected to acquire Russell Westbrook. It wouldn't surprise me if he were on the move. Bagley, on the other hand, is in dire need of a fresh start after being dropped from the rotation. That's all we have for you guys today. What are your thoughts on Mills, the LeBron versus Isaiah brawl? What are your predictions for the NBA trades? See you next time. Bye!